That's something we'll have to address this week in practice. But we still have a lot of things that we have to get better at. So our focus is going to be on making the corrections that we need to make from this one, improving on those things, and then getting ready for Dallas.
Yeah, it seemed like Clint Kubiak stayed on the sideline.
He stayed on the sideline.
I think there's a good chance he'll stay there for the rest of the season.
Well, he'll probably be there next week. I thought it went good. I mean, I think, it's one of those things where you're with them all week long and you're talking to them all week long. And so I just think there's something to being able to look in a guy's eyes and see and get and feel what they're feeling, on the field. And so I thought it worked great. I think Rico's been outstanding up in the box for him. So we got a couple of pairs of eyes up there that I think I like how it's worked the last couple of times.
Yeah, it seemed like even beyond that, it seemed like the whole offense had it looked like you've been running that for a long time. It seemed like everybody had a good handle on what you were doing and what you were trying to do. And I'm guessing that's encouraging, right?
Yeah, I mean, I thought we executed, pretty well. And certainly there's still things that we've got to do better. But I think we scored on like our first 9 drives, and so that's encouraging. And yet I think there were some other opportunities, maybe to get touchdowns instead of having to kick field goals. So I think the biggest thing when you win a game like that, I think the biggest thing is keeping guys grounded and understand that this is one of 17. So let's focus on the things that we have to improve on. All right, we'll enjoy the win, but we understand we've got a lot of things that we've got to do better.
Yeah, when the team's out locked in and every phase game, do you feel that building during the week, or is that something you just kind of find out during the game, or
Well, look, I felt like over the last couple of weeks, I think just watching our guys in practice, felt like guys were getting a good feel for what we were trying to do. I liked the speed that we were practicing. So I felt confident coming into this game that we would play well in all 3 phases.
You mentioned the run game and the play action passing game in your opening statement. I think you've been mentioning those 2 elements since February when you picked your offensive coordinator, what would work for Derek Carr. When you see getting ahead of the chains right away on the very first play of the game, getting the drive.
Yeah, look, I think that's huge. I think your ability to start fast, if you're able to run the football, it sets up so many more things that you can do. When you're able to run the football, it's much easier to pass protect. When you're able to run the football, you have the ability to utilize play action passing game. And so it just makes the defense have to defend everything. And so, look, that was positive in this game, and we've got to try to build on that.
And it's just your overall thoughts on Derek Carr.
Yeah, look, I thought he played well. I thought he managed the game well. The first touchdown pass to Shaheed was awesome. There was a little bit of pressure on him. He had to step up in the pocket, stepped up, made the throw, put it right on the money. And so that was awesome to see. And look, him no different than anybody else on our team. We're going to go and look at a handful of plays that, man, I wish we would have, and we had opportunities. And so I think that's the biggest thing that we've got to focus on is cleaning those things up as we head into week 2 against Dallas.
Dennis, what was the goal of progression on that play? 3rd and 4 obviously could have been conservative and taken the chains, but was Shaheed the hope on that play?
Yeah, I mean, usually when we put Shaheed on a big post, there's, we're expecting that. That's what we're hoping for. And yet, I don't know how the defense is going to play it. If they take that away, we got to be ready to go to our secondary deal. So, that was part of the plan.
Is that kind of the aggressiveness you guys are hoping to have this year with this offense?
Yeah, look, I mean, I feel like we came into this game, said we're going to go in and play the game to win, and that's what we did. I thought we took our shots when they were available to us, And we ran it when we needed to, and we were prepared potentially to go for some fourth downs if need be. So, but yeah, I think it's part of the deal. You got to play this game to win in our league, and I got confidence in our guys to be able to do that.
Have you been around Clint long enough to know that, like, all right, he's going to take a shot here, or what did you kind of make of that you called that?
Yeah, look, I mean, I think, I think the longer that you're around somebody, the more you get a feel for where they're at, and there's conversations that go on, and it's like, let's don't play this game not to lose. Let's play this game to go win, and that's what we did today. And our guys came out and they executed at a high level. And I think, if our guys play that way and execute that way, then I think we're going to have, a chance in a lot of games, and that's what we got to do.
What about Alante's skill set just kind of lines on those pressures for him being effective on them?
Well, he's fast. That'd be number one, right? Yeah, look, and he's aggressive. See, it's one thing to say that you're going to send somebody on a pressure, all right? But they got to be willing to go in and deal with the noise that's in there. Every now and then it gets a little noisy, and there's big 300-pound offensive linemen and things of that nature. So I think he's fast, he's aggressive, and so it was good to see him be able to run back there and was it 3 sacks? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I think it's been a while since we've had a DB do that.
Never happened.
That was going to be our next question.
Be a long time. Right, since the 60s.
Dennis, do you observe the 24-hour rule yourself personally? Like, will you enjoy this one tonight, or do you already start looking ahead?
No, I mean, I'm going to enjoy this one. Why wouldn't I? I mean, these things are hard to come by, and so, but for all of us, it's about staying grounded. So there's no 24 hours. We're going to be in meetings, tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. So I don't know what time it is now, but we're less than 24 hours. So we're going to enjoy it for, a couple hours. And then we're going to get back to work tomorrow morning as coaches, and players will get in around 9 o'clock, get a little lift in, get a little workout, a little sweat, and then, be back ready to go in meetings and making corrections.
What went into the decision for Jake?
Yeah, I just think that was, my decision and what I felt like I wanted to do in this game. It may be that way next week. It may not be that way next week. I want both these guys to prepare as if they're going to be the starter. And so, I don't. That's why we did what we did.
What did you make of Alvin's game today?
I thought it was awesome. I think I have a vision of what he can do in this offense. And so I think there's a lot of different things that we can do with him. We've got weapons, we've got speed on the outside. We got Alvin and Jamal running the ball. We got all the different things that we can do with Taysom Hill. So I feel good about, the weapons that we have, and, our coaches putting those guys in the best position for them to have success.
You were kind of asked earlier, if the team feeds off fast start and confidence and things like that. Did you sense that with Derek? Comes out, he has that big play to Shaheed.
Well, look, I mean, you sense that with all of them, right? When you go out and in your first drive and you throw a long touchdown pass. I mean, I think everybody gets some confidence and excitement with that, so yeah, I think fast starts builds confidence in everybody. But I think we had that confidence going into the game. I've had an opportunity to watch this team throughout training camp, so I had no idea what the score was going to be, all right? But I had a lot of confidence in my team's ability to go out there and play at a really high level.
Talked about the offensive line.
Sorry, you can go ahead.
I mean, run game wise, you've said it already, performed really well. Talk to me about your 2 offensive tackles and how they performed throughout this game.
Yeah, I would probably say, without watching the tape, I'd probably say there was a lot of good and there was a few bad, and so those guys no different than anybody else. We're going to go back and we're going to watch the tape. We'll make whatever corrections that we have to make and work to improve. But I think when you look at the offensive performance, all right, and being able to put points up like that, being able to run the football like that, 3 touchdown passes, is that right? So you don't do those things without your offensive line playing at a high level. And so I thought they played well.
You said these things are hard to come by. What do you mean by that?
Wins in our league are hard to come by. They're difficult. And so when you get one, you celebrate it and enjoy it, and then you get ready for the next one. Because we're playing again next week. You know what I mean? It's not like we don't play for a long time. We got to get back and get ready to play next week.
You surprised at how this game took shape? I mean, just the suddenness and the way it kind of started domino.
Look, I think, I don't know that I saw the score being what the score was. But again, I had confidence in our football team to come out and perform well. And, I think they did that.
Throughout the time and effort y'all put in to install this offense over the past 6 months or so, is it gratifying, I guess, as coaches that the players are able to hear your message and go out and execute like they did?
Yeah, it is. It is. I mean, I think, but that's a long process that, started way back in the spring, and look, it's a credit to all of the coaches and the players that, there's enough trust amongst both the players and the coaches with each other that we trust each other enough to know that the message that we're all, following can work. And so when you do all of that and then all of a sudden you see the fruits of the labor, it's gratifying.
Going with Landon over Salisbury in the second half, was that more Nick's not quite there?
Yeah, look, I mean, Nick missed a lot of time. And so he's still, we got to get him out practicing, developing, and then, look, we'll see where we're at. But yeah, that was kind of the plan going in, is that Nick would be kind of the emergency 8th lineman in case we needed it.
With Alvin, you kind of mentioned it before, but just with what you guys have around him now, do you think that can lead to a better year than you had last year?
Well, we'll see. I mean, I don't want to get into being a prognosticator and trying to fortune tell a little bit, but I do feel like, his skill set and what we do offensively, I do think that can benefit him, which obviously benefits us as a team. So I'm excited to see where it goes.
You had mentioned going into this one that which team adjusts best would effectively win the game. How much did that actually impact this game? Did they give you a lot of things that you had to adjust to?
Yeah, look, there was a few things that we had to make some adjustments to, but it's that way kind of in every game. I would probably say that I don't know that we saw too many really exotic things that we weren't maybe ready for. There's a couple of schematic things that they did that we had to make a little adjustment, but other than that, I felt like our guys were pretty much prepared for what they were doing.
On the flip side of that, do you feel like you provided them with things that maybe they weren't expecting?
Don't know. It's a better question for them. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I thought offensively, I thought we had a good game plan.
With Lattimore tweaking his hamstring towards the end of the game, was that more of a precautionary thing with him not coming back in?
Yeah. Look, with hamstrings, you never really know, but he did do something to his hamstring. We'll evaluate it and see what that means, see if that means missed time or not. Foster Moreau went out there, late in the game with a concussion, so he'll have to be in the protocol. And then, look, other than that, we'll evaluate where these guys are, tomorrow and have a better idea of what we're dealing with.
You got a lot of production out of your tight end room today. Foster Moreau, you went down and towards the end there, like you said, but with him, Juwan Johnson, and then I don't know if you can call him a tight end anymore, but Taysom Hill, are you excited about that room this year?
Yeah, I'm excited about what I think we can, what I think we can do offensively. You know, so, but we got a long season ahead of us, and we've got, you know, a ton of things that we have to get better at.
Thank you, Coach.
All right, appreciate it, guys.
Thank you. Have Tyron.